What's up guys, it's Captain Rex Production 72 and welcome to channel update for August of 2025 because, well, time just does not want to slow down for anyone, and that is definitely the case. I can't believe we're in August already. A few things I'd like to point out. Yes, the shelf is bare bones. Yes, some of the Jedi are missing in this scene. Yes, they have fallen over. Yes, apparently everyone on the shelf fell over and died, right? I was in the middle of reorganizing my shelves and then some stuff arrived and I got distracted building that, but anyway, we'll get into it. Quickly show like display type things. Yes, it's a mess, there's things in silly places, and I'll explain why before we actually get into anything. So, the reason that is throughout the last month, I have bought a couple sets, as I so often do. And I made space for those sets, but I done my usual thing where I go live on like TikTok or whatever, and I take all the minifigures off, put them in a box. Hence this box down here. It does have instructions from some recent builds, but you get the idea, you can see them. And put all the sets on the bed behind me and just dust the shelves, clean the sets with a little brush that I use for cleaning them, which, you know, this thing here. And from there, what I end up doing is putting the sets back on, then the minifigures. I didn't get around to finish putting the minifigures back on. I won't put so many of them on. More so on this shelf than end up back on, even though this is still incomplete. But I ended up picking up the Hoth Wampa Cave, which I made room for. I got the Soul Speeder from it, the Wampa, the cave, blah blah blah. This one was a bit harder to anticipate, so things had to get shifted around and mucked up. But this is the 2006 Star Destroyer, so that's why I had to make the space for. Again, didn't really help, and I've actually thrown the boxes up here, because that just made a bit more sense. Really like have those, it's all kind of classic stuff up here. So that kind of happened. And, well, speaking of July, July is a month where I feel I accomplished quite a bit. You know, I got another one of those Revenge of the Sith reviews out in terms of the 2005 Clone Turbo tank up there. And I also did something I've never really done. I did a live streaming series on YouTube, which I thought was pretty damn cool. And I wanted to do a live stream for the 10th anniversary of the channel, which of course was back in June. And, well, here's what we live built. We did the 2007 UCS Millennium Falcon. I could have went for 2017, but this one I just felt was cooler. Yeah, it's got things like it's an actual open cockpit. You could put your finger through there. No, there's not an interior, and no, there is no special figures, but the instructions tell you to give Chewbacca the smiley face for a human, which is kind of funny, got the plaque there. But yeah, I built this huge model. There's my hand to try and give some sense of scale. We'll put a minifigure on it. But you can see the minifigures compared to the model. It is absolute insanity. So I want to thank everyone who turned up for that series building that just ended today. Actually, it was a big thing. I'm very happy that, you know, so many people joined and commented and talked about the Lego sets. And one cool thing as a result of buying that is, so when I buy most Lego Star Wars sets, right? If I buy a brand new set, it comes away as like, if I buy something like, I don't, it just depends. I've had different experiences. Like, I bought Cloud City here. When I bought that, it was in the free sections, had just been split and put in a box. The Gungan sub arrived completely whole. The AT-OT and Dropship were upside down, smashed in a box. I don't know, I'm trying to think of other examples to give you. The sail barge is carefully taken apart and rearranged, but check this when it comes to set organization. So they arrived in a whole bunch of these kind of drawers that have all splits in them and stuff like that, and just I thought that this was crazy good. And there's a whole bunch of them, and it was all organized by part and what they want. I just thought that was absolutely just insane. And it wasn't just those boxes there. There's another one that is down there somewhere that I've put away in storage, and there's the thin one at the top. And huge congrats to Cell for doing that. So let's talk about gold. We finally hit 2,000 subscribers, which I thought was brilliant. You know, we finally got to that goal, which I was something, you know, that was a big moment for me. I was like, because I hit 1,000, right? And I think October or November 2023. So to hit that already, I'm like, I'm happy, because it took me all those years to get the first 1,000, then I got 1,000 in like maybe 1 second for 1/3 of the time. I don't know. Someone else can do the maths on that, because I genuinely can't figure that out. You know, I'm very grateful for that. Big thank you for all that. So let's talk about what to expect in the month of July. So there's a slight chance I'll do another building series. I am eyeing up a few sets. My rule that I'm going to apply on here, and I said this in the live streams with this, if I buy something like a Republic Striker class Starfighter, I'm not going to build it live on YouTube. I will do that on other platforms so they've got content. But if I buy something like the Slave 1 or the Falcon, like if I go and buy a big proper UCS set, then it will be a YouTube exclusive live stream. Just my way of giving you guys something cool. And you know, that was pretty cool. So my goal for this month is get a couple of reviews out and maybe just a few other types of content I'm going to try. At the moment, I am kind of, you know, really wanting to do more live streams. I didn't do a video last Tuesday. The last video you guys actually got was unboxing said set. But the reason I didn't do a video on Tuesday was I was live streaming anyway, so it didn't make sense to go out my way to go make all that extra content. I just didn't feel like doing it. Plus I was busy doing the actual live streams themselves. Oh yeah, I'd like to quickly point out I did add these cool lights up here, and you know, the ones you tap. And I've got a sick, well, I'm going to put the Falcon. Anyway, so my goal is for this month as well to review at least one of the August sets. Now, I don't know if I've talked about this on a video on here, but I'm not exactly a supporter of those sets. In fact, right, so let's start. The MTT, I thought it was quite good. It's cool that it's the Separatist one, the Clone War stuff on it. I don't mind that, it's pretty cool. Turbo Tank, I think, is terrible. Like, yeah, if these didn't exist, it would be okay, but I mean, look, I am of the opinion everyone else, 2005 is brilliant, but 2010 really made the best Turbo Tank. And I think most people would agree with me on that. The Battle Pack is alright. The price, £35 it is in the UK. Not going to be fun to army build. If I'm honest, I'm not going to army build that Legion too much anyway. What else have we got? We've got that Snow Speeder thing. I'm not going to go anywhere near that. We've got the K2SO. I think K2SO is a cool idea. The problem is I'll then want to see C-3PO, the Chewbacca, and the R2. And one, there's a space thing for that. Second of all, I don't really like a couple of those, but I'm the kind of person who want the whole set, kind of like Starship series, which, to be fair, I still need to pick up the Kylo Ren shuttle, and I have to pick up the Home 1 versions. I'll admit, I should have really grabbed the Home 1 when I grabbed the one from earlier this year, being the Acclimator. Kylo Ren's one, I just don't know where I stand on that set. I'm going to buy it to have the full Starship series collection. But anyway, what I would have personally, excuse me, no, I'm going to go next. The UCS ATST I'm going to buy. Don't know if I'm going to buy it this month, but I do plan to review at least one of those sets. It'd be kind of cool if I buy the UCS ATST, then it will become a live building series on here, much the same way that the Falcon did, but it won't get nearly as much live streaming time as the Falcon. Because, I mean, again, and yes, I'm enjoying showing off. It's the size of the thing. Anyway, there's a high chance of that. I've just not really been checking to the pricing. But personally, what I would have done if I was Lego is, I would have not put the Galactic Marines in the turbo tank, right? I'd have put the Galactic Marines in as the battle pack, right? I would have then put the 327th clones into the turbo tank, because you see a turbo tank on Felucia. Then what I would have done is, I would have took Commander Bly and Aayla Secure out of the MTT, put them in the turbo tank with the troopers, and then I would have used the MTT to have had, I don't know, a Wat Tambor, a tactical droid, hell, even a Count Dooku or some separatist like that. A Grievous wouldn't have even been a bad idea. That's personally what I'd have done. It wouldn't change that some of those sets are not that as good as they could be, but that's kind of my way of at least sorting the minifigures. So there is that. There's this other set that Legos have got out just now that I've been eyeing up quite a bit. It's there's NASA plane with the shuttle on the back. Granted, I am pretty much most like 95% a Star Wars collector. And of course we do have this section over here, which is Scooby-Doo, Back to the Future, Speed Champions, Ninjago, Marvel, Pharaoh's Quest, Indiana Jones, and whatever else. But there is that. But that's kind of what's going on. I'm just mostly planning to try and get some reviews out, possibly some different type of content. Because here in every so often I like to experiment. Like, the reviews I'm planning on doing is, I'm going to get this one out and review. The 2010 Hoth Wampa Cave. That's a lock, I'm looking to do that. I'm looking to review the Jedi Duel from 2002. And possibly the 2000 Flash Speeder. Because I'm someone who preferably does retro reviews. It's kind of like my bread and butter that way. yeah, reviewing a modern, I don't know, Ahsoka Starfighter is cool. That one did actually do quite well on the channel. But I'm more likely to want to review some other stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it for August, kind of basic month. But who knows what I've got cooking on? Who knows what I've got coming? I'll see you guys later on.